Hey there, I'm Mr. Hutch, and I am 9 years old. It's almost my birthday. And the book I'm recommending is Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. It's just an amazing story. Let me tell you a little bit about this book. So there's a family, and this is a little bit into the future, there's a family that lives on a farm. And so their whole backyard, very similar to McCain area, is just totally farmland and lots of trees. And so you could play in the backyard and no one would see you. Well, this is a little bit into the future, and the government has made a rule because there's so many people that you're only allowed to have 2 children. And so there's a mom and dad, and then their oldest brother is Matthew, the second brother is Mark, and then they have an illegal 3rd child named Luke. So imagine what that's like. If you're a 3rd child, you'd be illegal. You're not allowed to live. If they catch you, they have to take you away and kill you. So it's a pretty crazy scenario. So anyway, Luke is his 3rd child. So because they live on a farm, he's allowed to play in the backyard, things like that, because no one sees him. Well, one day they take down the trees and they're building a big subdivision in the back area of their farmland. So all of a sudden now Luke can't even go outside. He's never been to school. He's never had a birthday party. He's never had a friend over or even been to a friend's house. He literally is not allowed to be seen or he'll be destroyed. So now he can't even go outside because they're building a subdivision. Later on in the story, he just watches from his upstairs attic and watches as the subdivision gets built. Eventually, the subdivision is built, and every morning he watches as the mom leaves for work, the dad leaves for work, the 2 children leave for school, and he just watches over and over again because that's all that's allowed in the family. And then one day, as he's watching, he counts, and the mom leaves, and the dad leaves, and the 2 other siblings leave. He calls them the sports family because they're always carrying sports stuff. And then all of a sudden, he sees something in one of the windows of the house in which the whole family left already. So let me read that little bit of an excerpt. So you can see here, while everyone was at work, Luke was at home playing the radio and baking to surprise his family. And if anyone even heard him in the house, he could get in trouble. So this part of the book is the dad yelling at him. You can see right here, the dad says, "I don't want you in this kitchen again," he said. "You stay hidden, that's an order." He went out the door without looking back. Luke fled up the stairs. He wanted to stomp angrily, but he couldn't. No noise allowed in his room. He hesitated, too upset to read, too restless to do anything else. He kept hearing, "You stay hidden, that's an order," echoing in his ear. But he'd been hidden. He'd been careful. To prove his point, to himself at least, he climbed back up on the perch by the back fence and looked out on the quiet neighborhood. All the driveways were empty. Nothing moved, not even a flag on the Gold family's flagpole, that's another family he named, or the spokes on the Bird Brain family's fake windmill. And then, out of the corner of his eye, Luke caught a glimpse of something behind one of the windows of the sports family's house. A face. A child's face in a house where 2 boys already lived. And so this is that moment where Luke goes, oh, maybe there's some other hidden children in the world other than me. So I recommend this book to anyone who likes suspense. This author, every single chapter leaves you on a little cliffhanger, making you want to read more. I like it because I love suspenseful things that keep my attention throughout the entire story. The other great reason I like it is because it's actually a book in a series. So there's a whole bunch more you can read to follow the story of Luke hiding from being a 3rd child.